Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Monster, and this movie is directed by Patty Jenkins, and it came out in 2003, and it stars Charlize Theron, and I thought this was very, very good, and it was pretty well made, and it's a small-scale movie, and it's mostly just about two characters, and the movie does a good job developing them, and you get a good understanding of who they are, and they're well developed, and the location that they're in is also pretty well defined, and it's also based on a true story, and you do feel as though it was trying to give you as much detail as possible. And I don't know the true story myself, and I didn't do any research as to how accurate this movie is, so if there are any historical inaccuracies, then you've come to the wrong place. I'm not going to criticize or praise the movie if it did something historically inaccurate, because I have absolutely no idea. And because of that, there's not much I can do. But moving on, I thought the performances were great. Charlize Theron, I didn't even recognize that it was her in this movie as the main character, and that might have to do with the fact that this movie came out like almost 20 years ago, and the further back in time you go with actors that are like younger than today, like the further back in time you go, the less I recognize is specific actors from that time period, because they just sometimes look so different. Or maybe it's just that the performance is so good that I don't see an actor, I see a character. And this was one of those movies where I didn't recognize it was Charlize Theron until the end of the movie, which is a good thing, because you shouldn't see an actor, you should see a character, and she did a really great job in this movie, and I love her character, not because she's a likable or sympathetic character necessarily, but rather you completely understand where she's coming from, and she's just been a prostitute her whole life ever since she was 13, and she's unable to get a job, and she wants to, be straight and straighten her life out and get everything together, but she just can't because she never really, she never went to college and has no background at all really, and she decides to be a lawyer, and that doesn't work out, and she applies to all these different jobs, and nothing's working out for her because she has no resume. And I thought that was really interesting that her life has almost nothing, and all she has is just one thing. And she meets this one girl that she likes, and it's basically about those two characters. And what makes Christina Ricci, I think I pronounced that correctly, what really makes her character interesting is that she is pretty much she's the character who discovers like all the wrongness going on eventually, but none of the drama ever feels forced. It all feels very natural, and the dialogue is well written, and I think that's something that this movie really nails, is that the emotions that it's trying to go for, it all feels natural, and the pacing is really good, and it's not a fast-paced movie. It does give a lot of time to let you breathe in and really take in a lot that's going on, and the movie takes its time, and it's under 2 hours long, and I think that was a really great runtime. It did drag a little bit in the middle, but it's like a minor complaint about the movie, and anything that was predictable about this movie was portrayed pretty well, and I don't think you could portray it much better than they did in the movie. And this is just a movie that works with everything that it's going for, and the music, it worked well, and it was appropriately used from what I remember. I didn't notice it being spammed or being inappropriately used. It all felt like, yeah, that's what this scene needed, and it worked well. And this movie isn't about the police investigating what's going on with like the true story that this movie's based on. It's not about that. It's about these two girls and the time that they spend with each other, and it's mostly about their relationship slowly falling apart, and that's what makes the movie work so well for me. And there are some other things that I could mention, but I don't want to get into spoiler territory. And there are some really satisfying scenes in this movie that just work so well, and they also work on an emotional level, and they're very powerful. And overall, I would say that this movie is definitely worth checking out. And it's a movie that really stuck with me as I thought about it and processed it. And I would highly recommend that you check this movie out. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Monster an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Monster, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Devil All the Time. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.